What's up, everybody? This is the 30s perspective. Holla, 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 holla. Holla, 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 holla. We got B Mike.
Hey, yo, what's going on?
And myself, Sherelle Unique.
Yep, I think it's going to be the two of us tonight.
Just the two of us. I mean, that works for me, you know. Make it work. Make it do what it do.
Cool.
Hopefully, I can give some perspective on this topic.
Yeah, you got to represent everybody else, all the women on this one.
All Black women. All of them.
All right, so basically tonight's topic, I know we dealt a little while ago about Black women stereotypes, and tonight it's about Black men stereotypes. And yes. What happened to your screen?
You can keep talking. I'm here.
Okay. And but of course we got our icebreaker to go ahead and jump off into it. This kind of related because and I got really excited about this because it's in September, I think September 12th. It's going to be Mike Tyson facing off against Roy Jones Jr. Now they're both boxers from earlier in our I don't say childhood, but yeah, our childhood. We had the heavyweight and the middleweight sort of became a heavyweight, and they're about to match off again. And how do you? I mean, I don't know if you follow boxing, if you're into it or whatever, but they have two huge championship boxers go at it now that they're kind of on the verge of being old men. What do you think about that?
I think this is gonna be so entertaining. I want to watch it. I'm gonna watch it. I don't know how yet.
Oh, I'm watching it.
Huh?
I'm watching it. I'm definitely watching it.
Yeah, like I haven't figured out how I'm watching it, but
we'll
gonna
figure
watch
it.
I'll figure it out. I don't want to see them get hurt though. I really don't. Like they're so old. Like and boxing is just combative. I mean, it just is what it is. It's violent, and
yeah.
I don't want to see another ear bit off or nothing.
Well, I think Mike has matured past that. I think he changed his diet. I don't think he's eating boxers anymore. But overall, I mean, all right. To reply to what you're saying about that, I mean, both of them definitely know the risks. They were professionals for a very long time. They know exactly what the risks are. And it's not like they're physically that much different. So they're about the same age. They're within a couple inches height of each other. Their reach is about the same. Weight's about the same. Like they are pretty evenly matched physically. It's going to come down to technique. It is. I mean, Mike's a power hitter, but like Roy got more of the finesse. He's a little bit smooth with it.
But we don't know what's going on inside those old ligaments and joints. You know what I'm saying? So I think it's going to come down to more than just the technique.
There'll be a lot of icy hot and ace bandages and Epsom salts and Bengay's and things.
Biofreeze and Tiger Balm.
There's going to be a bunch of that happening. They should be the sponsors. Yeah. But who do you think is going to win, though?
I'm going to just go for Mike because I've always liked Mike.
That's the only reason? Like, you haven't been watching his training videos? Like, Roy's has been all kind of smooth. Mike's been, like, fighting sharks. Like, he's on Shark Week, like, this week, like, going off against a shark, and he's, like, beating up, all kinds of stuff just around the house. He's punching stuff. It's a lot. He's ready to go.
I saw his commercial where he was like, he was ready to go. I haven't been following him, but I did one of the videos popped up when I was on YouTube of him training, and I'm like, and he got a mindset for war.
Well, yeah, like that's where he, I mean, until recently he got more mature and he decided to get into stuff, but when he was younger, like he was that idiot savant. Like But I mean, like all he was built for was fighting. That was it. There was no, he didn't understand nothing outside of that. He just wanted to fight. And I remember Don King used to get upset because he didn't understand the concept of making a match last to give the entertainment dollar, make it last 10, 11 rounds and give some drama to it. He'd go out there and then 30 seconds later he'd knock the person out. And Mike's like, what? What's wrong? I did what I was supposed to do. Like, people were mad, like, I pay all this money, and it didn't last at all.
A chance to see a fight.
Yep. Exactly.
Well, I can't wait to see it. I don't want any injuries that's gonna like kill them or like they, I just don't want to see that. That's gonna be crazy.
The referee will call it.
I want a good fight though.
Well, it's going to be a good. I think Mike's going to win too. I like Roy. I like Roy a lot, but I think Mike's going to win. And it's either going to be quick or it's going to be really a long. It's going to be either or, man. Like if Roy does his homework and he does his training, then he might last a while before the knockout.
I don't want a straight knockout. Like I hate that we're anticipating this moment and it's over. Like I want it to be like.
I don't want to go to the scorecards. No, I want it to be definitive. He couldn't get up.
Well, I'm cool with that, but I want to fight though. I need a little bit of a fight.
All right.
So I'm conflicting because I want to see a fight. I want it to be definitive who won, but I just don't want to life-threatening injuries.
Well, I mean, two old men are busting themselves in the head, so I don't know what's going to happen.
I don't know. Like somebody.
I'm excited. I'm excited to see Mike and Roy do this again.
Since we're conversing about these different shows. Did you see Black is King?
I did watch Black is King. I did.
You said you did or you didn't?
Yes, I did. I did watch Black is King.
What do you think about it?
Overall, I like it. This is really abstract way of showing the Lion King. Extremely abstract way of doing it. Where parts of it, I was like, what part of the Lion King is this? What is this? I don't know what. And he'd be like, is that Rafiki? Okay, that's Rafiki. And that's Scar. Okay, now we're on track. And then go way off track. You're like, I don't remember this in the movie. I don't know what this is. But overall, the message was great. The visuals, the cinematography was awesome. The locations. I know her scouts were all over the place finding these great locations to do the whole thing. It was good. And I think that overall, this is going to be the new way to release albums. They're going to have whole video albums.
Yeah, I think that will be a way to do it. And I think that's the most perfect way for her. Now being a mom of 3. And so I think this is like the most perfect way for her to express herself. I think it was amazing. Like, I really do. I love the wigs. I love the costumes. I love the choreography, the imagery. I love the music. Some people might think that I'm a hater for saying this, but I'm going to be me.
Okay, I got hated on earlier today. I said something about Anita Baker that people didn't like. So I'm with you today. All right, what?
Well, I just feel like when you have unlimited amounts of money and a professional team that will do anything for you, of course you're going to put out a freaking amazing project. Now, with that being said, because if I could carry out the stuff I got going on in my head with no budget, okay.
Well, but then look at people like, you still gotta have someone with a vision, because look at Teddy Riley and Fergie. They got money and this stuff crashed and burned.
No, horrible. But that's what I'm saying. She can pay for whatever. She can pay somebody to have a vision for her. She can pay anybody to carry it out in any way imaginable. So But I don't say that to be a hater. I'm just keeping it real. Beyonce is no slouch though. So I am saying that
the work ethic is impeccable.
Her work ethic is impeccable. She's no slouch. She's very hands-on in her projects. Like when she did the Coachella, she's looking at the beading on the outfit. Like she is very hands-on. So I don't say that to say that she's no slouch by any means. I'm so, because I've been waiting for her. I felt like she had reached a place where it was just like, oh, just let me just try to be ratchet. Let me try to be sexy. Let me just try to be skank. I felt like she had reached a space of that. And I'm glad to see something of some substance from her again.
You felt she was reaching a ratchet level? Like what? Was she trying to rap a little bit?
I like her rapping. And I don't mind her ratchet level, but I just feel like at this point, you're Beyonce. Like, you could be bringing us something more. We already got enough. We got Cardi, we got Meg, we got Doja. We got a lot of those. So, like, I do understand how necessary it is because sex sells. And I sing along to the songs too, but I just needed some balance from her. And so I'm glad I got some. I'm glad she's, like, promoting the African and African American community. I'm glad she's doing this with her platform.
Yeah.
I'm still not a fan of her acting, and I'm still not she's not my favorite.
But she's Foxy Cleopatra, and she's a whole lot of woman.
She's terrible. And she's not my favorite.
That boy's good.
Right. She's not my favorite dancer either. However, she executes. She executes it well. She's just not my favorite dancer.
But she also surrounds herself with great dancers.
Right, so it makes her. I don't like her vocal styling. I just don't. But like you said, she surrounds herself with great. But she knows how to make up for what she lacks.
Yeah.
So.
Well, she's an entertainer, so that's why, like like Michael Jackson. Michael Jackson was spectacular. He was an entertainer. Was he the best singer ever in the world? No, he wasn't the best singer in the world, and he wasn't the best musician ever to exist, or even the best songwriter. Like, but all the elements he had that came together to make Michael Jackson, he put together in a way that was untouchable.
Yeah.
Now he can't dance by himself.
My favorite, even with those critiques that I have, she's my favorite living entertainer. She just is. And I've seen her in concert a couple times, live. So she just is.
Yeah, right now I say she'd be on top of the world, with the entertainment level. It's like, to me, like, it would probably be her and Bruno Mars, entertainment wise. Yeah. Which is why when they both did Super Bowl together, like, Coldplay just kind of fell off into the crowd.
So, how do you feel about, because I don't know if you heard it already, but Brandy came out with a new album called B7.
I haven't listened to the whole album. From what I've heard, it sounds like Brandy. I like it. I feel that at this point, her voice is identifiable. I knew it was her. Like, okay, this is cool. It sounds like her stuff. It sounds like stuff she used to do when she was working with Darkchild, and it's her. I mean, I'm not gonna say, oh man, you gotta hear the new Brandy. Like, that didn't hit me. But I wasn't like, oh man, what the hell are you doing? I didn't do that either. It was, oh, that's cool. It's a cool song, sounds like Brandy. Like,
solid.
Yeah, it was solid. Cool. It was regular Brandy music.
I think Brandy, and we gotta talk about her because she's like one of the queens of the 90s. Because she had her own doll, she had her own show. She was the first Black Cinderella. She was killing in the 90s, period. Killing in the 90s.
She had a lot going on, Alicia and things.
She was very successful. And she's one of the reasons why I sing. Jesus is is a big reason. But she's one too. That first album we used to play it all the time, and I sing to it all the time. So anyway,
I want to give you credit though, because you definitely put me on to Brandy having more of a range than she puts on her albums, and that used to bug the hell out of me. Like she would be on her albums and she wouldn't have any range. It'd be all kind of in the same little box, you
that's
know.
the industry doing that to her. She actually can belt. She can sing strong. She can hit. We already know she can hit crazy runs. We already know that. Her range, she has a wide range. She can do a lot with her voice, but she just doesn't get to show it because of them. But as far as this album, I think Brandy has created her own style of music. She has
What
her
style is
own.
that?
I don't know what we need to name it. Maybe we'll just name it the vocal Bible. I don't know. The music Bible. I don't know. But she has created her own style specifically for her. I'm not saying it's for everybody. But when you hear Brandy, she has a signature sound. And she approaches her music a specific way. So like you said, it was a classic Brandy album. There are some songs that I like on it. I like No Tomorrow. I like Rather Be. She has a song with her daughter Sarah, who is 18 now, which is crazy. That's called.
Remember, Brandy was like the virgin, like she was known as the good girl virgin, and I think I was part of her like the pitch. The industry wanted to keep her as this innocent, soft-spoken little virgin. And that's what it was, and that worked.
It worked for a while till she broke down. High Heels is a good song, and Love Again is a good song. So check out the album. I think, like I said, I'm happy she's back. I feel like she's like really proud of what she's come out with because it seems like it's like extremely personal for her. However, with that being said, I think I'm ready to hear those other aspects of her voice. I'm ready for those other parts of her voice to be put out there. Now, on this album, she steps out a little bit. I can hear her hitting some high notes. I can hear her, she's rapping. Like, she's stepping out. But I want her to, like, I want those soulful songs. I want that belty Brandy. I want a nice, clear song without so many, because Brandy's known for her signature background vocals. She's a beast at them, but I want to hear a song without so much busyness sometimes. Because I'm going to be honest, I love Brandy and I love her music, but it takes me a while to like it first. You know, it's saying some Beyonce songs that way too. Like, you got to listen to it a couple times and you be like, all right, I love this. You know what I'm saying? Brandy's songs don't really hit you right away usually, where it's like, love it right now.
Do you prefer artists like that? Because I mean, I gotta say, the last Black Eyed Peas album that came out a couple of weeks ago, like the whole album hit me. I was like, this whole thing's hot. Like I just put the whole thing, let it ride. Like first time, I was all into it. Cool. Or do you prefer like where it takes some time to grow on you? I don't necessarily always like albums that are an acquired taste. You gotta get to the good part. Eventually, you'll like Brussels sprouts. Eventually. Acquired taste.
I don't prefer that. I tolerate it from my favorite artists. I tolerate it because, like I said, I already know going in that with Brandy's song, I might have to listen to it like twice before I be like, okay, I like that's the one that fits me. But and same with Beyonce. Certain ones you'd be like, okay, let me listen to this again. I prefer it just hit you in the face, like, oh, this is a banger straight up right now. But the last thing I want to say about Brandy, like, is I just wanted to say lastly about Brandy. It seems because she seemed like she was searching for who she was at a time and having kind of an identity kind of crisis type situation. So it seems like now she's honed into who she is, and she's like really leaning into her fans who love her and her legacy, because she really built a legacy. And I think sometimes you forget that, and it seems like she's remembering like who she is. Like I'm Brandy.
And wait, did you read the article I posted to your post earlier about Brandy and the dude from Immature? Did you read that yet?
Yes.
Yo. So what's his name? Is it? It's not. It's not. Is it Batman or Romeo? Which one? And Drummer Boy. Which one was the one with the patch?
It's Romeo. Batman
Romeo.
was Marcus Houston.
Okay, so Romeo's eye got all jacked up because of Brandy. Read that. You know, we're not gonna talk about it right here. Look that up. Romeo's wore an eye patch because Brandy messed his eyeball up. Go look that up. She has no regard for eyeballs.
Heck no.
None. Zero. She don't ever talk about that.
Right.
I
didn't talk about it either.
Well, wait, here's a question. Would you remember Romeo who wasn't for the eye patch? See? Right. Yeah, see? So maybe it was...
I'm different, though. I really wasn't, like, an immature fan like that. Like,
right.
I like their music and stuff, but, like, I would know girls who would have their posters on their walls. They would be, like, straight fanatics with them. I was never like that with them, ever. Because I wasn't into all them weird hairstyles. I wasn't into all of that. I was Usher. Like, I was all about Usher.
Well, that's only kind of, like, there's only two options girls of a certain age had. Like, if you were between 10 and 13, and you only had, like, Usher and Immature when they first came out. And maybe the dude from Soul For Real. Like, there wasn't, other than that, everybody else was older. Everybody was for teenagers and up.
Okay.
Unless she was in the NSYNC and Backstreet Boys and stuff, but that's later on. That wasn't until later on in the late 90s.
Yeah, I'll give you that because I can't think of anybody right now.
Or New Kids on the Block.
Campbell.
Yeah, Tevin was young. You could have gone with Tevin. But I don't remember, like, girls really swooning over Tevin. Like, it was there. I mean, it's, you know, Ashley Banks was all like, oh, Tevin Campbell. But when it came to, if you asked them, all right, you want to pick Tevin or you going to pick Immature, like, they were all over Immature after the what?
All over it. I was never like that. Never.
All over Immature. But then there was other groups like High Five and a couple other little small one-hit wonder.
I was in love with Jagged Edge later on in the game. In love with Jagged.
Really?
Oh, I love them so much. Every song. And I got to open up for them later on. Which was,
okay, well, that's probably awesome.
Well, way later, like once I moved here is when it happened, but I was in love with them back in the day, so it's crazy.
Did you get all starstruck though when you got there? Or you were you super so you
I'm an internalizer.
Okay. So you didn't run up to them and tell them who they are? You're Jagged Edge!
No. I'm not that good.
All right, you know what? I gotta confess something for real, because I ain't paid them a whole lot of mine. I didn't know there were twins in the group when they first came out. For a while, I was like, yo, that one dude's always in the front. I didn't know there was twins. I was like, that one guy's always in the camera. Yo, like, what's up with that?
It's because you weren't a mega fan. You was just...
No, I wasn't. I was not a mega fan of Jagged Edge.
If you knew better, you do better.
I don't know, man. They had some competition.
Yeah.
They had some competition. I mean, what about Rough Ends? Remember Rough Ends? No more shopping spree.
I wasn't into them like that. I mean, I liked the song and I would sing it, but I wasn't like...
No, they were like a real Walmart version of Casey and JoJo, like this Jodeci knockoff. It didn't work out. It wasn't, but you know, it was during our teenage years. That's what it was, man. Early 2000 singing group. But 112 was from the 90s. But 112, you know, they was kicking it in the 2000s. 112 to me was more entertaining than Jagged Edge.
Drew Hill.
And Drew Hill. Because, wait, they got both 112 and Drew Hill got more hits than Jagged Edge. You know that.
It don't matter. Their hits were hit. Their lyrics was hitting me for like what I was going through at the time.
All right. Okay. I don't know. I don't know. To me, they didn't have that one lead singer with a very unique voice. And all the other groups had that. They all had that one that you could pick out in the crowd. You knew that. All right. You knew that was Cisco. You knew that was KC. You knew, that was Slim. You knew you could hear it.
Well, best vocals for me is Little G.
Is that one of the twins?
No, Silk.
Well, I don't know who the hell that is. Okay.
Silk.
Okay, Silk. Okay. All right, now we're on the same page.
He's the lead singer. He was hitting all the high notes.
Well, he had all the passion, man. Silk had all the soulful. Well, yeah, I got you. Silk in H-Town and After 7. And well, I mean, there's always Stokely and Mint Condition. That was cool opening for them. That was awesome.
I love some Stokely. His voice is unmatched.
That whole thing. Yep.
All right. Well, we ready to get into our topic?
Sure. So we're gonna go with some stereotypes that tend to surround black men. There are a few. Some of them I had to combine because I definitely, make sure to cover some of them. But one of the first ones is that, about black men not liking to work. The lazy black man. That is, I think, a very big misrepresentation. And I think it's also something that doesn't directly just apply to a particular race. I think that comes from a particular, set of characteristics and mentality and motivations. But there is some depth to it, though. Because that's one of those old stereotypes. That's the old slavery stereotype. How you gonna have a slave to do everything and then still call them lazy?
That's outrageous.
Well, you don't do nothing, but and they do everything. But, man, you lazy as hell. What?
I think, and I can only go off of my own experiences, the older men in my life, even like growing up, have been very hard workers. When I think back to my grandpa, he's always doing something, working, doing something. My dad's a very hard worker. Even when he's off, he's up working. Stepdad, he was putting in bathrooms in people's homes and always off working. So growing up, the men I knew, even my high school sweetheart, he was always working. Like the men I had around me growing up and the men I knew from my past were hardworking men. Nowadays, for me in my experience, is a lot of men who are not. I've come across a lot of them who are not, or who are trying to get on their feet, trying to find a job. And it could be because of what I do for a living, like, and the people I'm around, where I'm kind of in a position to kind of help them get on their feet and push them into getting a job instead of roaming the streets. It could be because I'm just surrounded by that population now. But my experiences nowadays is not that hardworking man anymore.
All right, so let's talk about it. Why do you think that is what it is now? So yeah, I agree with you. Grandfather, all that stuff, like you saw, they were hardworking at home. They was never sitting down long enough. There was always, I got to do this, I got to build that, I got to go here and do this. And hammer this and repair that. And, all right, we got to go to work, and they got 2 jobs, and they're doing this, and jack of all trades. So why do you think now you are observing something different? Because I have a slightly different experience. I do see some of the things you're seeing, but I've also seen a lot of very hardworking black males that's out there as well. So what do you think has led to what you've observed?
Well, TD Jakes, who's my fave, by the way.
Okay.
He said something to the effect of women raise their daughters and nurture their sons. He said it something like that. I feel like the dynamic has changed. Like, less men are in the home, so in order to be a man, you have to see a man. So if less men are in the home raising their kids, then I don't feel like they have that representation. And then I think a lot of women who have to raise young men by themselves tend to coddle. They're much tougher on their daughters because they're teaching them to be women. They know how to be a woman, so I know how to teach you to do this. But what I've witnessed is more coddling of the son. And then women who would love to be in relationships, want to be married, whatever, you're trying to prove yourself to your guy. So then you're some of the toxic ones are taking on like some of the responsibilities and end up like taking care of some men who aren't ready to step up and be the man of the household. So
Okay. So you feel there's some coddling and some enabling that's done by women when it comes to black men, and therefore they may not. Either they're late on getting to a level of maturity where they do have that work ethic, or some of them never get there.
Yeah, and then also not just the coddling, but also the abandonment of having like a positive male influence around in their life consistently.
Yeah.
Like, I can count, if I had $1 for every time one of my kids said they don't have a male role model, like they've said it to me. Males, young black males. So the ones they're seeing are in the streets. I had to have a conversation with my kids today. I took 2 boys out. Had to take them clothes shopping and food shopping. And I made mention of me having multiple streams of income. And he was like, "Oh, what, you sell drugs, miss?" And I'm like, "Why would I sell drugs?" But he wasn't joking. He was dead serious. And we literally had to have a full conversation of why it would be a horrible idea for me to sell drugs, or why it would be a horrible idea for him to sell drugs. Because he couldn't think of a reason why it would be bad.
I love how he asked you all polite though. You sell drugs, miss?
Right.
Okay. All right. But okay.
I don't know.
Are you a street pharmacist? Yes. All right. So now I understand that. And that is really a shame that was his first thought when you heard multiple revenue streams. That, well, she got to be selling drugs. That's the only other option, But, this has been going on probably since the 70s, where that's what they see. I mean, I don't know, how well versed you are with some of the older movies, but in the Mac, Goldie was giving out, money to the kids, and the kid was like, "Man, when I grow up, I'll be just like you." But like Goldie was like, "No, ever let me hear you say that. You could be anything. You could be a doctor, a lawyer. You could be, don't let me. You can do all that stuff. I don't want to ever see you hear or talk about you wanting to do what I do." Of course, he was a pimp, but he was just don't. But that's what they saw. They saw him with the fancy cars and the money and the clothes and the women around him and the respect in the community, and that's what they saw. And that's why he said what he said. Like, this is what it is. Um, but with that though, do you feel that the influences in other cultural races